Right now, registration is underway for the ANC's Eastern Cape Provincial Conference, which takes place this weekend. Oscar Mabuyane and Babalo Matigizela will be contesting for the top post. Senior reporter Sipamandla Goke is tracking developments. Let's just take you there to listen in on an interview he's having.
Yes. I just want to ask about the issue regarding apparently there might be 28 branches wanting to rerun. I don't know if I could take
the verification report and the disputes. I would like to.
They say they want to rerun today. Is it possible?
No. The chair or the convener will talk to that. There's certain committees that are set to do particular work. I would like to invite the convener of the PTT to then brief the members of the media and the nation at large in relation to the Eastern Cape Provincial Conference.
Thank you very much, Mafago, for this quick facilitation. I was not here for the media briefing. The media briefing will be done at an appropriate time. I was just here to see to it that things are done in preparation for the conference. My name is Oscar Mabuyane, as you have correctly said. Delegates will be safe here. I think we've done everything possible to see to it that we can't degenerate to what we saw in 2017. And we also know what happened in 2017. Yes, the problem of some of us when we are in the lobby space trying to get into this psychological warfare and create impression of wrong numbers. When numbers are not tallying up, you must find anything that can make you escape. So in 2017, that's exactly what happened. Those who were here will remember that even delegates had to be removed from this area when they were inside because there was an allegation all of a sudden of ghost delegates. So people had to be taken outside this precinct to be allowed to come in one by one to verify. And still people refused to adopt credentials because people create a narrative which misleads the public, which creates wrong impression at a point when things must actually be happening and people must find another excuse that they can create. So we are refusing to be drawn into that. ANC meetings are political education platforms. There are people who will be attending a conference of the ANC for the first time in their lives. So when they come into an ANC meeting, they must go with an impression of an organization that is very serious, because future leadership of the ANC is in those younger delegations that will be coming for the first time. ANC meet in its conferences to advance the national democratic revolution. Meet in its meetings to activate our conscience on the aims and objectives of the ANC. So we're not coming into an ANC meeting as if we are going to a battlefield. We really condemning these rapacious behaviors that we see. They are not supposed to be there. And people must look forward to an ANC meeting. ANC is a democratic organization. Its constitution guarantees the rights and duties of members. You only assume responsibility when you are elected to lead. So sometimes we can speak as if we are speaking in different tongues because we don't understand and appreciate the level where we are and the responsibility one has. The responsibility is not written in any constitution. This is what we assume immediately we are elected, and we are expected to rise above any pressures of expedience, etc. So our appeal is that people must calm down, people must relax. We must not send mixed messages in the public. This must be a meeting. We know it has drawn a lot of national interest. It's a sort of a precursor to the national conference. Others are seeing national conference in the provincial conference. So already people are thinking about what will be happening in the next 6 months, in December. They see that here. And also you can also see the behavior of some of us, how we behave. We behave as if already we are in December. December is going to come as this has come. So people must relax a bit and make sure that this meeting goes well. And our plea is that all delegates who are coming here to the conference must actually put ANC first. When we are always called to be selfless and sacrifice, we are always called to do that for the sake of the ANC, not for the sake of our own interests. So the issue of safety of delegates is guaranteed. You can see the precinct, how we have tightened up security, but people will be free as delegates to express their views, to make sure that they help the ANC to move forward and grow. Issues of credentials, there is a credentials committee which is led by the provincial secretary, so that issue will be attended to at an appropriate time. But of course the credentials, it's a culmination or they emanate from the verification report, because that's the report that tells who's supposed to be here, who's supposed to attend the conference. So we're waiting for that from the SGO. At any given time we should be getting that. Correctly so, we had a meeting yesterday night at about 8 with the national officials, with organizing, just to tied up some loose ends that were there, and also to clear a couple of issues that probably might find a way of mudding some of these. The issue of branches, it has been resolved, that you have spoken about, but that will be detailed during the time the credentials will be presented on how such issues. But one point that we would want to underscore or underline is that this issue arises out of the so-called manipulation of membership system. This problem was detected last year, 2021, around about June, by some branches in Christiani, as well as in Dr. Khobusana, that is your Buffalo City. Branches themselves, secretaries and the BECs, saying in our database we're seeing funny members that are here, and they reported that matter immediately to their regional offices, and regional secretaries wrote to the province. Unfortunately, the province lacks capacity because the current membership system is centralized at a national level. So you have to ask the national organizing to look at that. It's unfortunate that this matter took so long from last year June until where we are, because those who were manipulating the system, they were manipulating it for the local government election. Those who wanted it to be councillors, etc., others were just playing into that system, removing people from their branches and throwing them. And it's a matter that is currently unfolding. Culprits have been identified at the branch level as well as at the national office. Those people are currently undergoing the disciplinary committee, who are part of the organizing, who were aiding these people from branches to manipulate system and add certain members. It appears that these are not fictitious members, are people who have just been wrongfully added in the database, but those people are there. So that's a matter that we're handling it well. So the issue that we're trying to explain, no branches of the ANC manipulated membership. Leaders of the branches reported the manipulation, and that matter is being attended to within correct organizational principles. You can't punish branches of the ANC that have reported the wrong thing. We committed ourselves here on the renewal, and that renewal, you don't find it in the provincial office. You find it in the entire DNA or in the entire ecosystem of the organization in our province. Even branches, that's the reason why branches reported that. So you can't have a situation where the branch has got about 600 members. They go to their BGM, have about 349 members in attendance. And in that 249 or 39 members in attendance, like Ward 7 here in Dungan Village, you then find out that only 2 people who are said to be beneficiaries of this manipulation were in that meeting. And you are saying, therefore, the entire 337 must be nullified. It doesn't exist. It has got complete no material effect whatsoever. Those are matters that have been attended to properly. And these are organizational issues, and they must be treated like that. So we had some technical glitches around that, and that we needed to correct it. It's not an issue at all. No wrong members will be part of this conference. And all wrong members are removed in the database. We're clearing those branches to come here and participate as branches. A branch of the ANC must have at least 100 members, constitutional. So any branch that has got less than 100 members, that branch is not a branch in good standing. You can't even argue about it. So here we talk about branches that have got way above 100, except the few branches like in Krisa, and I think there are about 4 branches that have, after you remove the so-called manipulated, they remain less than 100. So we accept that. It's not a problem at all. So that matter, as I've said, is going to be clarified more when the credentials come. So there is no issue. Let's not create a hullabaloo around that matter. People must relax. We are cleaning the system. We are cleaning the organization. We are cleansing it. We committed ourselves. It is part of the renewal agenda that, as this province, we felt that it is high time that we must champion. We have said it before. The 54th National Conference of the ANC, the Nazareth, was a Damascus moment. We can't really behave as if we have never gone through that Damascus moment. When we speak about renewal, we are saying we must be renewed ourselves as members and leaders and do what is organizational correct, no matter which position are we occupying in the organization. So the issue of the verification report, it's been now sorted out. We're waiting for a final one from TG, SGO, that clears all those kind of issues, including these sort of branches. So all these meetings that have been sitting, we're actually trying to clear those sort of misunderstandings, because those were not really differences. It's a fact. And we've simply said, let's all seek the truth from facts, so that we don't act out of emotion, but we act on the basis of what is at our disposal. Well, Nomazima, I'm not sure about this man. I don't have money, so it's difficult for me to discuss politics of money. I've never been in the ANC for money. I'm not exposed to money, so people who have got money can speak better on the money politics and exchanging of money, etc. I really can't venture into that. What we know is that that's an act of misconduct. Whoever does that, whoever has spoken about it, he must come forward and report that. It's an act of misconduct. It's listed in the Constitution. If you begin to do that with the purpose of influencing the outcomes, that person must be attended to and must be dealt with. So whoever has spoken about it or reported this matter, you better report it formally so that it is thoroughly investigated and dealt with. So I don't think we must create a narrative that seeks to create a spin about this conference. As I've said, that in the 2017, some said, no, we're winning, we've got 300 margin, vara, etc. When we were here, there was no longer a margin when the conference was about to start. A new narrative had to be created. No, there are ghosts here. This conference cannot take off because there are ghost delegates. Just to create this, what people have sustained a wrong narrative over a period of time, misleading the public, misleading the society. Wait for conference to sit. Credentials will be presented here. People know, at least, wherever you are, you have a sense. If you are a member of the ANC in the Eastern Cape, if you are a leader of you know how branches have nominated. You do have a sense. So let's not create something that is not into that space. So branches of the ANC have nominated. More than 670 branches in the Eastern Cape are in good standing. That's an excellent job that this collective has done. We are making it a point that ANC exists in every corner in this province. And we have built this ANC anchoring this work on unity and renewal. And in that, creating this conducive environment for cohesion within our structures of the ANC. That's why we had no issues for the entire duration of our term until last year, September, when our term was ending. We only realized in December that, oh, no, by the way, we have a problem, but we didn't know that we have a problem. When we were exposed to declarations done by certain regions, oh, no, we have a problem. And branches of the ANC themselves stood up and confronted that situation. So that's what you will see as we move forward. So it's not an issue. So let me not spend much time, Nomazima, on the issues of money. People who know some people who have got money, doing money politics somewhere, let them come forward so that we don't just throw things like that. Leadership must be responsible. We must not be reckless. We must be responsible. We are leaders. We are leading, whether there's a conference or not. Come Monday, there will still be this organization, and you must still lead it when you are elected. So you can't behave as if it's an end of the road. The organization is coming to an end because there's a conference. It's a do or die. You see, some of us who have seen these things before. We have gone through this from 2009. This one even wrote a letter in 2009 on my behalf because she was not sure that I'm going to accept the nomination, Comrade Tabang. So she told me, now I've got your letter. Immediately you declined and we're going to push it. So it was in 2009 then for the position of the Provincial Secretary of the ANC. So we've gone through that. The contest in the ANC, the democratic process, is not surprising. It can't cause this panic and these chest pains that we're seeing. We've seen this happening in our province, and we have never had all these kind of foreign tendencies. People come, we normalize. What we want is a normal ANC meeting where delegates of the ANC feel free and comfortable in the precinct of the ANC meeting, where people will be free to raise any issue that seeks to build the ANC. The only thing that we're not going to allow are people who are bigger than the ANC. Amalungu ANC onke funeka ayazi ngoku into bafuneka anciphe khona ukuze i-ANC ikhule. Asinawukhula ngokufanayo ne-ANC. So our forebears have sacrificed a lot for us to be where we are. People of Eastern Cape, 6.7 million, are looking forward to this meeting because they hope that this meeting might possibly find panacea in addressing their socio-economic conditions, the levels of high unemployment. So they expect us to come out of this meeting with concrete resolution. That's why this PSC spent time focusing on the content, on the political content of this conference. Our pre-commissions, engagements, working on policy matters, proposals. Because we're doing this conference almost at the backdrop of the policy conference, which is coming very soon, in a few months' time, as well as the national conference. So we are almost not preparing for this only. We're also preparing for the national conference in whatever that we're doing. And our preoccupation is not about who does what, where. It's about how you build ANC for it to exist for another 100 years and for the future generations to come. Well, on the issues of letters, those were matters of PIC, disciplinary committees, and NDCA. We saw the letters. Those letters are still to be presented in a formal PTT meeting. I can't talk about them. I've just seen them on the social media, flying around in social media, said to be coming from Comrade Paul. So there's a due process in the ANC. You don't just do as you wish. You don't abuse your power and your authority in any office. So, but we don't have a problem. We want all members of the ANC to be part of this conference, but PTT or PEC acted simply because there was a reason to act in those. So we would want those comrades, especially now that they are delegates, to be allowed back to the conference, but at least a due process must be observed. We must respect how the ANC does things, etc., etc. So Provincial Secretary is still to present that in our meeting at 4, hoping that by that time we would have received the verification report. So that we table, and then the issue of credentials will be clarified from that verification report, and the credentials committee will be able to meet now and process and attend to all issues. I know Provincial Secretary and his committee of credential are busy sorting out delegates of leaks, 10% and all that, at least on the estimation that we have. We are likely to have about 1,500 delegates in this conference voting. Well, it could be an issue of minusing some, those who would have been collapsing along the way, NDRC saying this branch can no longer, etc., or dismiss whatever verdicts that are coming. But as I've said, you have about 670 branches in the Eastern Cape in good standing who have actually duly convened their constitutional meeting in preparation of this. Yes, out of all what we've been seeing, disputes, because we had about plus minus 50 disputes in overall, that way with the NDRC. Those branches are drop cut, but I can tell you we won't have less than 640 branches coming into this conference. So that on its own tells you the magnitude of the conference that we have. It's a huge conference. We understand the palpitations that is also showing up in a lot of corners, and everyone now thinks that you can still find something. We know Eastern Cape has been treated like this for a very long time. We've been taken for a ride. We've been taken for granted. That people, if they are interested in leading ANC National, they must come here in the Eastern Cape and find whatever legal peace they can have. We have said so. It's a part of the challenge that we've seen. Hence, we've been working tirelessly on the unity and cohesion. That's why we took a strong delegation in Nazareth. Remember, Nazareth.
All right, that is a media briefing by Oscar Mabuyane, the Premier of the Eastern Cape. As you know, this weekend, the Eastern Cape is holding its elective conference after 2 postponements. What he said so far is that members should put the ANC first, that the Credentials Notification Committee, Verification Committee is there. What he also mentioned was that 2 regions, that's the Chris Hani and Dr. Khubusana regions, who are not allowed to participate in this weekend's elections. They found some members of branches there present at this weekend's elective conference, which they're now dealing with in terms of disciplinary hearings, because they're not supposed to be there. If you don't know, basically what happened is that those 2 regions are being investigated and there's court cases around them. So Paul Mashatile, the Treasurer General, who's also running the Secretary General's office nationally, said that those 2 regions should not participate in this weekend's elective conference, and therefore finding some of the branch members there was quite problematic. But of course, we'll give you more details as soon as one of the senior reporters who were there, either Siphamandla Goke or Aviu Mtila,